Hi guys, welcome back to my Sick Fit Life for part 3 of my intro series. Yes, I have glasses today, surprise. I did something to my eyeball and it is killing me, so I can't wear my contacts, and I may take them off, I don't know, but I could just see I could just see better with them on. So if you don't mind, I'm gonna keep them on and we'll just see how it goes. All right, so I want to pick up where I left off somewhat. I did leave off talking about my weight gain and that I took control of my weight sort of mid 2016 after getting treatment for my gut permeability and SIBO, which is the small intestinal bacterial overgrowth. So I do want to pick up where I left off in talking about the weight gain and how I managed to get that off while being chronically ill. I decided I don't want to focus too much on it because while that is a part of my journey, it was more like a detour and it has its own story. And so that story deserves its own video. And there's so much more to the overall picture of my health that I want to include in this video. So we're gonna touch on that a little bit, but I'm going to make a larger video on that alone at another time. Okay? So I did hire a trainer. She is the wife of one of Mark, my husband, one of his colleagues. And so I started working out with her, and long story short, and I will tell that long story later, I went from about 170 pounds, which I will show you right here on the screen, my before picture. And I got down to 127 pounds a year later. I will tell you that 127 pounds is not a healthy weight for me. I'm 5'10" and I'm 39 years old. So that was never a weight that I cared to stay at, that I wanted to sustain. I ended up competing. This is again a long story, but I ended up prepping and actually making it to stage 4 and into a fitness competition in the bikini division. So I competed July of 2017, which required me to get down to a really low body fat. In my case was 7%. I am now 10 pounds heavier than that. I'm 137 pounds, and I even have room to go up even more if I needed to or wanted to. So I spent the first 6 months going from 170 to 150. My trainer would joke, actually she wouldn't joke, this was the absolute truth. She trained me the same way she trains her senior citizens, so what's just called sprinkle training. So we'd sprinkle each body part, we'd do a little of this, a little of that, and until we sort of like hit a little bit throughout the body. I only worked out Tuesdays and Thursdays, so I sprinkled twice a week, hardly even broke a sweat, so a lot of times didn't break a sweat. And I'd get frustrated at times. I would say, when am I gonna start really working out? You know, what is this? And she's like, we have to introduce exercise to your body. He doesn't know what it is. It hasn't exercised in 10 years. It has no idea what you're doing to it. So it was, again, this is gonna be a big video later, but it was a long time, a lot of baby steps, quite literally, until I was able to really do much in terms of breaking a sweat in the gym. In fact, most of my weight was lost on diet. I mean, that's the truth. And that is the truth for a lot of people that have lost weight. They lose their weight based on how they're eating, more on how they're eating and not so much on how they're training in the gym. How you train is absolutely important. Exercise is so important. Again, we'll talk about that later. But diet is key. You cannot out-train a bad diet. It is very difficult. I don't know of anybody that's been able to out-train a bad diet. Like when you just eat whatever the heck you want, if you're 40, you're really hard-pressed to find someone who's able to do that. So my trainer included, she's even admitted to even trying to do that. I think a lot of people think that I was eating like 100 calories and was killing myself in the gym. Not the case, not even close. I never did do cardio. I kept trying to do it, but it just wasn't worth putting in the extra energy for that I didn't have. And I was losing weight and getting to my goals regardless of whether I did it or not. So I never did do cardio. I still don't do cardio. I get cardio training within the workouts that I do, but I do not do cardio workouts exclusively. I train now 3 days a week, 1 hour each day, and I don't train that hard. I really am, I don't. I think a lot of people think I kill myself. I really don't. I probably hit 4 exercises in the gym while I'm there, maybe 5. And yeah, I just keep my diet really sensible, but I don't deprive myself. I don't believe in that. I don't love the physical aspect of training. It's not my favorite. I'm not some fit chick who just, lives to go to the gym. I do love how it sets up my day, and I love how it sets up my week. It gives me a lot of mental clarity, and it increases serotonin production, so it does help with my anxiety. It has completely eliminated my depression. I am much stronger now than I have ever been because of my training. I can do things that I was never able to do before. Moving furniture around, taking things in and out of the garage. It's something that I do for me. Do I enjoy it all the time? Absolutely not. 100% no. The gym is not my happy place at all. I love my trainer. I love how it makes me feel, and that's why I keep doing it. A lot of writers talk about this, like a lot of writers don't love to write, but they love the creativity it brings out of them. I don't know if that's a good comparison or not, but this is all stuff that I, worked up to over time. Initially, did I feel like it was boosting serotonin and getting rid of my anxiety and depression? No. I had to take a nap after I trained every time, and typically I had to take the rest of the day off from any other obligations I had. So that's what training was for me initially. For like the first 6 months, it was that. So I didn't always feel that way. I progressed very, very slowly. I'm sure you've heard the expression, hold the vision, trust the process. This was the epitome of that. I had a vision of what I wanted to do. I trusted the process, and I got there. I did not take any shortcuts. I didn't try to take any shortcuts. I did what I was supposed to do. I got the results I wanted, and I'm enjoying benefits of a fit, healthy lifestyle now because of it. So hold the vision, trust the process. That's my best advice for somebody getting started. Don't try to go all in. Don't try to kill yourself. Don't try to starve yourself. You can do it sensibly. You can enjoy the process. It is possible. I'm proof of that. And again, we'll talk about all that later. Okay, we're going to end that part of it, and we're going to move on to what's next, which is where I'm at now health-wise. I've come a long way since 2007. I think we all can agree on that, but I do still struggle more often than what I feel is acceptable. Discovering that I had gut permeability or leaky gut, and having that explain so many of my lingering issues was a big light bulb moment for me. Getting treatment for that was a huge game changer. Anyone who struggles with neurological symptoms, limb weakness, fatigue, obviously bloating, IBS, food sensitivity. If you think you have neurological issues that are unexplainable, gut permeability could be a factor. Definitely encourage you to get that checked out. Find yourself a good functional medicine doctor, have them do a SIBO test, and find out. That was as big of a game changer for me as my Lyme treatment. 1,000,000%. In fact, I'm gonna try to link below a couple different videos you can watch here on YouTube. And one of them's with Rob Wolf, and one of them's with Chris Kresser. So I'm gonna try to link those below. I have both of their books, but I am more of an Audible learner when it comes to this sort of a thing. And so what I do is I read and I listen to them both, and somehow with the cognitive issues I do have, the information does stick after a while. But if you're an Audible learner too, or you like podcasts and you like to listen in the car, these would be ones that I would suggest you invest your time in listening to. You will learn a lot about gut health. If you want me to make a video that's dedicated to gut health, leave me a comment down below and give this video a thumbs up, and I'll get to work on that for you. That video, again, it's its own subject. It deserves its own video, its own time dedicated to it, and its own discussion. So let me know if that's something that you guys would be interested in. Okay, so the truth of the matter is, I was given treatment for my gut permeability, but I did a terrible job at maintaining the health of my gut. And that was just honestly from a lack of knowledge and education, because there are some fundamental things that I should have been doing and that I didn't know about. And there are some things I should have been avoiding that I didn't know about. I've spent the last 18 months immersed in any information that would help me to recover and maintain my health. I do think that I have gone backwards, to be really honest with you. I'm now having to do a second round of treatment for SIBO. Things I wasn't struggling with this time last year, I'm now dealing with. So I do think I've gone backwards, and I could probably identify the reasons why I have at a different time. So where I'm at now as far as symptoms go, my biggest roadblocks presently are a lack of endurance. So fatigue. Cognition is a huge one that I struggle with, huge. It's always been a pretty significant struggle of mine, like I talked about in my last video. Mental clarity, word retrieval, I'm really slow to absorb information, and sensory sensitivity is really big struggles that I have every day. I'm having them right now. I'm gonna have to edit the crap out of this video because I keep losing my train of thought. Anxiety comes and goes. But my depression is gone, and I think I could probably attribute much of that to working out. And then my physical symptoms when I don't take my medications or during the times I've tried to taper my medications are predominantly limb weakness, fatigue, and nerve pain. So limb weakness, just the whole, this whole thing in walking, carrying my body weight, being able to use all my limbs, and fatigue, that whole, like you feel like you have the flu feeling. And nerve pain, which is a very difficult pain to describe. It's this neuropathy. It's this feeling of nerve sensitivity, like all of your nerves in your entire body are on edge. Again, it's a really hard feeling to describe. I kind of describe it like a toothache, only all over your body. I don't know if that resonates with anyone. My family, when I told them that, they sort of felt like they could understand a little bit easier what it was like. And to be honest, it's a really difficult pain to treat. So when I take my meds, the majority of all the symptoms I've just talked about are completely alleviated, usually. Sometimes we get a few hiccups in there. That is why I appear well all the time. The medications do a really good job at masking all of my symptoms. You will see me symptomatic if I, A, haven't taken my medication, B, run myself into the ground, or C, if it's the week before my cycle and symptoms during my cycle. Those are 3 exceptions to my medication when you will actually see symptoms. But typically, if I have taken my medication, most of my symptoms are under control. But if I decide to run myself into the ground and borrow from tomorrow's energy, I'm gonna suffer the consequences of that. So I still have to budget my energy. It is absolutely still necessary for me. I think it's easy for a lot of people to assume that I'm well all the time. The answer is no. I'm just well for all the things I make sure I'm well for. I have certain things that I do every single week, and I make sure those things get done. The gym, laundry, grocery shopping, taking care of my kids, cooking. Like, there are the non-negotiable things that I make sure I get to every week. Everything else has to somehow fit around those things, and so I have to budget energy for each thing. For a long time, I couldn't grocery shop and go to the gym on the same day. I couldn't do that. I couldn't do laundry and cook dinner on the same day. So I rotate and I budget. So if it was a laundry day, we'd order out. That's how we did that. And so I got really good at identifying how much energy each thing took and what I could couple with those things. So like on a gym day, what could I also do on a gym day? I figure that out. But there are certain things I knew I couldn't do and I wouldn't do. I got really good at that, and I think that that is key in managing your energy. So what I usually do is I make one task or one commitment my first priority, and then I make another task my second priority, and then I rotate them. Every day has its own first and its own second. I only work out 3 times a week for 1 hour each time, and because I've been at this for 18 months now, it's not robbing from everything else on my calendar like it may have done in the beginning, for example. Some days are harder, but it's much more manageable because my body has acclimated over time. My best advice is to decide what's important in your life. Time and energy management is everything. If you're like me, you cannot be everything to everyone all the time. And if you want to have a quality of life, you have to set up boundaries. It's really important that you do that. Like what I do is I'll look at things and I'll say, okay, this takes X amount of energy. And then I decide if it stays, if it goes, or if it gets saved for later. One of the things I had to do that with was wine. I love wine. I drink wine every night, at least 2 glasses for a long time. Probably until like a few months into my training. But what I realized is wine was robbing from my next day, not because I had a hangover, just I wasn't in optimal shape. I didn't feel my best following a couple glasses of wine the night before. I didn't have as much energy as I wanted. When I tested myself by not having the wine to see how I felt much better. So I decided I would only have wine occasionally when I knew the next day wasn't going to be filled with obligations. Does that make sense? I really feel like right now I am the healthiest I've been in a long time. I'm definitely the fittest I've been probably my entire life. I'm the happiest, for sure, but there's a lot of room for improvement, and I'm committed to doing that this year. I have been on the hunt for a nutritional protocol that I feel like fits with my symptoms, with my lifestyle, and I have been hard pressed to find something that I feel like really works for me, although I have learned a lot about what doesn't work for me. And so those are some of the things that I want to share in upcoming videos. I think that what I've learned, if anything, on nutrition is it's almost more important what you don't eat than it is what you do eat. What you do eat is so important, but what you don't eat could arguably be even more important. So that's something that I would like to share in future videos. I have a lot that I would like to do this year. The question is, can I? I am still dealing with a lot of issues. Cognition is not my friend lately at all. I'm having real issues with cognition. Making this video has been difficult, and I just have not been my sharpest just in a while now. So that's a problem, and energy is an issue. You know, I only have so much, and so, but I do have a lot of goals. I do have a lot of aspirations, and I do want to help. So I think it kind of remains to be seen how my health plays out in the next couple of months with changes I'm making to my nutrition and with this next round of treatment for my small intestinal bacterial overgrowth, the SIBO. Get your gut checked. If you want to keep seeing these videos, if this is something that you think that I should continue to do for you, if this is helpful, please leave me a comment or give it a thumbs up or get in touch with me somehow and let me know, because this does take a lot of energy. This does take a lot of time, and if it is reaching some of you who need it, then I am happy to provide it. It's no question whether or not I want to provide it and give you that time and energy of mine. I need to know it's actually reaching you, though. You can find me on Instagram under My Sick Fit Life, and on Facebook under Kimberly Daya, same as my name here on YouTube. I'm hoping to do subsequent videos on more about the weight loss and more about gut health, and there's so much else I want to do. So let me know if it's stuff that you want to see, and it will be coming at you sooner than later, I promise. But I gotta know I have an audience, so let me know, you guys. Okay. It's been a really fun 3 videos to put out there for you. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. I hope you've learned something, and I hope to continue doing more. So have a great one, and I will talk to you guys soon, okay? Bye.